So first of all, happy Returnal launch day everyone, and in this video I wanted to take a few pixels to talk about 4 interesting PlayStation 5 stories, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. Now, the stories I wanted to cover in this video includes one I wanted to cover earlier this week, but other news took over, and that is the confirmation of PlayStation 5 graphical upgrades by a developer. Facebook recently took a shot at PlayStation 5 and PSVR 2, which I kind of agree with, but you'll understand once we hit that story. My reaction to the Ratchet and Clank state of play from yesterday, along with Insomniac's, as well as the Returnal reviews. We're going to go over the Returnal reviews as well. First, let me know if you're playing Returnal this weekend or not. I'm going to be putting a lot of time into this one. As you guys already know, I'm a fan of Housemarque thanks to Alien Nation and Dead Nation, so I was already excited for Returnal, but after seeing the positive reviews across the board, it just got me even more excited, so I can't wait to dive into it later today. But what about you? So comment below. Are you playing Returnal this weekend or not? Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, the Returnal reviews. After watching a bunch of these videos, which thankfully did not spoil anything, this is the impression that I've gotten, and it seems pretty consistent with most that played the game. Returnal is a pretty difficult game. I've seen people spending anywhere from 20 to 50 hours to finish the game. After you finish the game, there are more secrets to uncover, which is good for people who want to spend even more time in Returnal's universe. The DualSense capabilities are done the best here since Astrobot, which I was very happy to hear. The 3D audio is also done very well, which again made me happy. That combination of DualSense and 3D audio is a large part of what makes the PlayStation 5 special. The story is interesting and very much is still a mystery, even a good way through the game, so I'm expecting a big revelation at some point. But overall, people have cemented Returnal as the best PlayStation 5 game to date and the first true next-gen feeling title. The game currently sits at an 86 on Metacritic, and I can't wait to jump into it later today. Now, diving into the second story of the video, Facebook takes a shot at the PlayStation 5 and PSVR 2, and I personally agree with what the CEO said. So, reading from Upload VR, Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg suggested in an earnings call with investors that consumers aren't interested in VR headsets with wires. Some other folks might try to ship something that they claim is higher quality but has a wire, and I just don't think that consumers are going to want to go for that, Zuckerberg said during the call. So he's pretty much putting Sony on blast here, considering recently, very recently, they announced PlayStation VR 2 and how it will deliver higher quality gaming, but they also revealed that the headset will have at least one wire. This is definitely a step up from PlayStation VR 1, which had like 50 wires and a very complicated setup, but I personally said at that time when they announced PlayStation VR 2 that I wanted the headset to support wireless gaming. Once you use something like the Oculus Quest 2 and that free roam feeling you get from being able to go 360 and just being immersed in the world, you don't want to go back to a wired setup. I personally hope that PlayStation VR 2 does offer a wireless option in some form, because we're supposed to stick with this headset for at least another 4 to 5 years, and the VR space is just improving all the time. So to make it stack up with the rest of the VR space and keep it future-proof, I think a wireless option would be necessary. It would be really beneficial for the headset to have that. But you guys let me know if you think PSVR 2 will have a wireless option or not. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the third story of the video, the Ratchet and Clank state of play. We'll get into Insomniac's reaction to the game in a second, but for the first part, I just wanted to give my reaction to the gameplay from yesterday, and my goodness, was it gorgeous. On stream, the gameplay looked great, but playing it after on my 4K LG OLED TV, I just sat there on my couch in disbelief as to what I was seeing because of the amount of detail in the world, how alive it was, how dense it was, the fast loading, the crisp sounds when shooting a gun to when an enemy breaks apart or blows up. Demon's Souls was one of the moments where I was like, whoa, this game is gorgeous, but Ratchet and Clank took that even higher. I've already had the game pre-ordered for a while, and I can't wait to just explore the worlds in that game, to just sink so much time into it, just taking the fact that we're still only about 7 to 8 months into the PlayStation 5 life cycle when the game drops, and we're already getting something like Ratchet and Clank. If this is what we're getting with something like Ratchet, I'm not sure if I'm ready to see what God of War Ragnarok looks like. I'm just going to melt in my chair watching the gameplay when it goes live. In terms of the developers at Insomniac Games and their reaction to the game, reading from Video Game Chronicle, "This is the best looking video game ever made, period," wrote Murray, who recently rejoined Insomniac from Xbox's Perfect Dark Studio, The Initiative. "It won't be forever, of course, but on June 11th, I 100% stand behind that statement, and I say that having had literally no hand in making it, just observing with awe since I returned to Insomniac Games, #stunning. We also had James Stevenson, who's the community director, saying, "I've played through the game at home on my 77-inch OLED. It's the best looking video game I've ever seen. The team has knocked this out of the park to create a PlayStation 5 showpiece." Now, some might say they're a part of the team, so of course they'll say that, but I disagree. They can say it's one of their favorites or talk about how great the story is, but for two people, one formerly from Xbox Studios, to call this the best looking game ever, that's still pretty big. And honestly, after seeing what I saw on my TV, it's really not a stretch. I just personally can't wait to have it play natively on my TV when it launches, and I'm just going to waste a lot of time just looking around. Now, diving into the final story of the video, PS5 Graphics Upgrade confirmed by a developer. So this is a story I wanted to cover earlier this week, but other stories took over. It's been a busy week, obviously, but I still wanted to cover this one because there are still some that are making it seem like the PlayStation 5 is lesser in some way. So the story here revolves around AMD Fidelity FX, which is a set of tools, libraries that you can use in your game engine for supporting platforms. I already made a video last week discussing how Xbox has support for AMD Fidelity FX tools, which means PlayStation 5 might not be far behind, and this also relates to both consoles getting AMD's DLSS competitor Fidelity FX Super Resolution. However, since that announcement, I've seen some say that the PlayStation 5 doesn't support AMD Fidelity FX, and this discussion of the PlayStation 5's specs came back into question. That conversation has since quieted down, but I just wanted to put this out there. This confirmation from a developer, which we don't even need, and I'll explain why in a second. In terms of the PlayStation 5 supporting AMD Fidelity FX, Rift Breaker developer Exor Studios was asked if the PlayStation 5 supported AMD Fidelity FX, which again is a set of tools. Exor replied with, "Yes, Fidelity FX work on the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X/S, including ray trace shadows, Fidelity FX sharpening, and other effects." So that's one thing. Beyond that, if you go to AMD's own site, it states AMD Fidelity FX is our open source image quality toolkit comprising of 8 different solutions available for developers to implement into their games that are optimized for AMD RDNA 1 and AMD RDNA 2 architectures. So we know that the PlayStation 5 is AMD RDNA 2 based, with some features taken out that Sony didn't feel they needed, as opposed to Xbox, who's trying to very heavily align themselves with PC since they're pretty much a multi-platform developer now. But either way, even if people want to throw this RDNA 1.5 conversation back into the mix, on their own site, AMD states that Fidelity FX supports RDNA 1 and 2. I think this doubting the PlayStation 5's capability conversation needs to die out at this point, considering what we've seen the PlayStation 5 deliver and what we know it's going to deliver very soon. It's proven itself. The Xbox Series X has yet to do so. But you guys let me know if you think the PlayStation 5 has delivered for you or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button, as it always helps, and subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with PS5 the current graphics king, because regardless of what you want to say, PlayStation 5 has delivered and is set to deliver even more in terms of next-gen showpieces, while the Xbox Series X still seems like a ways off to give us anything really next-gen potential, with the first possibly being Halo Infinite later this year. But if you guys agree with what I'm saying here, destroy the comment section with PS5 the current graphics king, and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.